Hey everyone, it's your boy ThiccboiGohan, and I'm back with another deep dive into Castlevania Nocturne. Before we jump in, I want to give a big shout out to one of my amazing subscribers. That's So Judy. Thank you so much for this video idea. I loved it the moment I saw it. I'll be posting your comment in this video so everyone can see where this started, and just know I really appreciate you for sparking this conversation. That being said, since it's Pride Month, I want to dedicate this video to all my LGBTQ+ viewers. As a gay man myself, my goal with this channel isn't to tell anyone how to live their lives. I just want to create a safe space where we can talk openly about the characters we love, especially the ones who reflect parts of our identity and experience. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today we're diving into Mizrak and Olrox, two characters from Castlevania Nocturne who break the mold when it comes to how gay characters are usually shown in media. They aren't stereotypes, they don't fall into the usual flamboyant or anti-straight traps. They're just powerful, emotionally rich, and yes, fine as hell. Mizrak in that jawline and Olrox in that laid-ass hair. Before we break down the characters, let's talk real quick about what we usually see when it comes to LGBTQ+ folks in shows and games, animes, and media in general. A lot of the time, gay and lesbian characters are written in super lazy ways. They're loud, over the top, hate the opposite gender, or are only there to crack jokes. Some shows act like their entire personality is just being gay, like that's all they bring to the table. That kind of representation might come from a place of trying to be supportive, but between you and I, it comes across as fake or forced. It doesn't show the full picture of what it means to be a person in the LGBTQ+ community. Now here comes Castlevania Nocturne, flipping all of that on its head and doing it effortlessly. Mizrak, as we all know, is one of the knights of the church. He's serious, disciplined, and very loyal to his leader, the abbot, Emmanuel. At first he seems like your standard rule-following holy warrior, but the more we see him, the more layers he shows. He's not loud, he's not emotional until Olrox gets involved, because baby. He's calm, collected, and deadly with a sword. You would never look at him and think, oh, here's a token gay character. And that's the point. He's not a token at all. What makes Mizrak special is how his story slowly opens up. He's torn between his loyalty to the church and his feelings for Olrox. We see this inner conflict throughout the series, especially after realizing that the people he trusted might not be on the right side of history. Even though he follows orders at first, Mizrak has the strength to admit when he's wrong and grow from it. He doesn't hate women. Let's be very clear on that. Now, him and Drolta, I feel like we're kind of throwing each other shade, but I feel like there was a little bit of tension between them. Like, again, they're very fluid. He doesn't act like a stereotypical I hate women gay guy. He's just a man trying to figure out who he is in a world full of war, vampires, and magic, and especially if he's as religiously devout as he is, like, this is a lot to kind of handle and digest. You know what I mean? Shifting gears a bit, let's talk about Olrox, because this man right here, he's got that presence, and Olrox, in my opinion, is really the star of Castlevania Nocturne. I know Richter's supposed to be the main character, but come on. Olrox is a vampire, first and foremost, but he's also an Aztec, rocking that long flowing mane of his, the gold jewelry, and the voice is so smooth, and I've said this in a previous video, like his voice actor, Tens. That voice of his can literally melt steel. He shows up early in the series and instantly takes over the screen with his calm and mysterious vibe. He's not evil, but he's not exactly good either. What makes Olrox so interesting is that he's layered. He's got a history full of pain. He's probably watched lovers come and go throughout the centuries. He's also watched people come in and completely annihilate his own people. He's been around for so long, and honestly, Olrox just kind of gives, he's done with the games, he's gonna cut through the BS. Now, when it comes to his relationship with Mizrak, Olrox tries to act like it's just a casual fling at first. He calls it physical, or at least in so many words, like he treats Mizrak almost like a toy at first, but that doesn't really kind of hold up as the story progresses. The truth slips out when Mizrak gets hurt and Olrox panics. When Mizrak was literally about to die, he doesn't just protect him, he cries over him like he's like, you know, in shambles, because he does not want to lose his man. He's vulnerable, and in that moment, we see the real Olrox, like that, and it's sad because you could tell that he really loved him throughout the series, but we don't really get to see that until the very tail end. Olrox isn't just a strong, smart vampire, he's a lover. He's been hurt before. He's still capable of love, but you could tell he's very reserved. So talking a little more about Mizrak and Olrox and their dynamic together, their relationship isn't loud or flashy, as I've said about their characters as a whole. It's quiet and it's intimate. We don't need a bunch of romantic speeches, although I would like them. The emotion is in the details, the way they look at each other, how Olrox risks his life to save Mizrak, and vice versa, and how Mizrak reaches out when he's close to death. That scene when they were on the bed together, and Mizrak, he just said, Olrox, I'm afraid. And it was such a vulnerable moment, and I think it's because he was so religious too. And I grew up in church too. There is a fear of death, and I think it's a normal human reaction, but I just think to the religious undertones, and because of the things that Mizrak also took part on, I think he was scared that he was going to go to hell for an eternity, and I think it was hitting him like, I don't want to die, I'm not ready to go. And as Mizrak is expressing this to Olrox holds Mizrak in his arms, and he calls him my love, and tells him not to be afraid. He even says the devil is easy to cheat, trying to comfort him in his last moments. It's a really raw moment. Like, honestly, I wish I had a love like that, honestly. It hit me right in the chest. I don't know about y'all, but that moment I was like, oh, like goals. I aspire for this type of relationship. Minus, being turned into a vampire. And again, they're not playing into tropes. Neither of them is the feminine one or the dominant one. They're equals. Although I am highly convinced that Olrox is a soft top and Mizrak is a bottom. That's just my own headcanon. Maybe I'm projecting, but I can see it because Mizrak, I've said this in the last video, Mizrak has an attitude and Olrox fixes it for him in other ways than just verbal lashings, if you know what I mean. Their love isn't about the roles, unless you're me and you project. It's about trust, protection, and respect. And most of all, it's believable. Like I said, I feel like their love and their relationship can be very attainable if you're not on Grindr or Sniffies or Jacked. Adam for Adam. What other apps are out there? Y'all let me know in the comments. I feel like I missed a couple. Now, some people might say, why does it matter if they're gay or not? And in my opinion, it matters because representation matters. When you're a part of a group that doesn't get shown in a real or respectful way, it's easy to feel invisible. But when shows like Castlevania Nocturne take the time to write LGBTQ plus characters like Mizrak and Olrox with depth and dignity, it just hits harder, it hits differently, and it exposes another side to our community to folks who may otherwise not be aware of it. And I said this at the beginning, they look really good. They're very well drawn characters. Seeing characters like this in a dark fantasy seeing characters like this in a series like Castlevania, where people like us, and when I say us, I'm talking LGBTQ plus, people of color, where we're usually ignored or pushed to the side, it's very powerful. And it shows that in a world like Castlevania Nocturne, like we belong too. We can also see ourselves in that kind of world. Castlevania Nocturne and Castlevania in general are so well done that I would love a video game based off the Netflix series. I've enjoyed the series so much that I've actually looked into the games, and the representation is everywhere. I absolutely love Castlevania and all of that. Y'all, I could go on and on about Mizrak. I can go on and on about Olrox. And honestly, I feel like you guys would love for me to do a 2-hour-long video just talking about them on loop. But that is going to be my breakdown on both Mizrak and Olrox. They're two characters who challenge how gay men are usually shown in stories. They're not caricatures. They're not here to just check a box. They're warriors, lovers, and survivors with rich stories of their own. Big thanks again to That's So Judy for the suggestion. I'm so glad you brought this up. It was a perfect idea for Pride Month. If you're watching this and you feel seen, and you've got other characters you want me to talk about, drop them in the comments. Let's keep this space respectful, real, and open to everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Stay proud, stay strong, and keep showing love in all its forms.